morning everyone. Welcome to Sociology Analytica. This is Pooja, Prasanna, your Sociology faculty. So today let's start with a new Indian thinker, and that is M.N. Srinivas. So I've given a pretty straightforward question from M.N. Srinivas, which is actually a previous year question. So usually Indian thinkers will be pretty much straightforward. They won't ask you too much of analysis within the context, within the syllabus itself. They'll ask you for analysis. So this the question is, elaborate Srinivas' view on religion and society among Coorgs. It is for a 10-marker question. Okay, so they're asking you to elaborate religion and society among Coorgs. So basically, if anyone who has studied a little bit of Srinivas, they'll understand that they're actually asking how did Srinivas understood, like what did Srinivas study in Coorg. So we know that Srinivas went for a field study to Coorg and he studied the Coorg society. He understood the solidarity among the full Coorg society, and he wanted to actually understand solidarity, and in order to understand solidarity he went to understand the caste system, and further he also noticed a new concept, and that is Brahminization, which eventually led him to the conception of Sanskritization. So this is what basically they're asking in question. Okay, so religion here in the sense religion here is nothing but he's talking about Brahminical, okay, Brahminization or Brahminical culture. So this is only he's talking about, okay. So it's a 10-marker question. That means you have to write for 150 words. So see, again, you know, when I was talking about Gure yesterday, so most of these thinkers would have written some of the other book with respect to that particular concept. So in case if you know, if they have given the book, so please do mention the book title. It is very much important. So Srinivas has written a book called as Religion and Society Among Coorgs of South India. So this is a book. In this book, he has actually in detail has explained about religion as well as the solidarity in the Coorg society. So what he has done is, see, in fact, Srinivas has done a very extensive field study of Coorg society. After doing, why did he do this extensive study of Coorg field study? Because he wanted to understand how they actually interact, how they're interacting, how the solidarity still exists in society. He wanted to understand that. Okay, so he understood what interaction in the ritual context. He understood interaction in the ritual context between the different castes. See, here you cannot write a random caste name. Okay, why? Because specifically they have asked the question in Coorgs. See, if it is just Sanskritization, if it is just Brahminization, then you can actually give any example from your state, whichever state you are from. So like that you can do. Okay, in fact, one example is Lingayats. Lingayats also gone for Sanskritization. But the thing is, here you cannot possibly write that because he is specifically studying about Coorg. So you have to write those names which he himself has written in the book, or which he himself has written and considered for his study. So which all castes he has considered? One is Brahmins, Kaniyas, Bannas. Okay, so these are intermediary Varnas, and Panikas are actually the lower caste. Okay, Panikas are the lower caste. So you have to write all these names, the names which is given by himself. And then their interaction in the ritual context actually led him to the conception, or led him to the formulation of a concept, that is Brahminization. See, initially he did not call it as Sanskritization. Initially he called it as Brahminization. What is Brahminization? It is nothing but imitation of lifestyle as well as ritual practice by Brahmins, by a lower caste Hindus. Okay, all the lower caste Hindus whosoever were there, okay, in that particular Coorg region, so they followed whose rituals and whose lifestyle? Brahmins' lifestyle. So this is nothing but Brahminization. And further, what you have to write? You have to expand about this Brahminization or Sanskritization, how this actually happens. Okay, so his conception of Brahminization, whatever this he gave, that lower caste imitating Brahmins. So this is nothing but Brahminization. Then later on, many of the critics also pointed out, and later on he actually further studied the other society, and then later on he actually gave an abstract concept that is called as Sanskritization. So Sanskritization is basically when the lower caste imitate any of the twice born caste, that is Brahmins, Kshatriyas or Vaishyas. Then he found out that it is not just Brahmins who will be, they will not be just imitating Brahmins, they will also be imitating the other twice born Varnas also. Okay, so finally it led him to the conception of Sanskritization. And then write more about either Brahminization or both are one and the same. Okay, both are one and the same. He says it is an endogenous source of social change. Okay, because most of the time whenever we think of changes in Indian society, we always think that the changes was brought by Britishers or the changes were brought by the invaders. But then what Srinivas tries to tell is that it is not from outside, there is no outside involvement. There is no exogenous change. It is an endogenous, that is within the society, because caste is a typical character of Indian society, and the changes are happening within the Indian society itself. There is no external factor which is changing the caste structure. Okay, and what he says, the process of cultural and social mobility in the traditional Indian society. So because of Brahminization or Sanskritization, it is leading to what? The process of cultural and social mobility. So people are not just elevating their and they are not just changing the culture of into Brahmins or Kshatriyans or Vaishyas. Along with that, they are also getting the status also. So further, you please explain this, how cultural and social mobility changes are happening. We explained in few statements. Okay, so what it is, that is first and foremost the lower caste people. So according to them, they used to feel that they are having polluted lifestyle. Because of the polluted lifestyle, they would not be getting the good status in the society. So what they'll do, they'll give up on their own practices, whatever the practices will be there. What type of practices they are giving up? They are giving up practices like meat eating, liquor drinking, animal sacrifice. So all these were actually the lower caste practices. They are giving up on all these practices, and they are following the they'll start imitating the Brahminical food rituals as well as dressing style. Understand? So after doing this, after imitating their rituals, culture, dressing style, etc., within generations or two, they could actually claim the higher status or higher position only in the local hierarchy. That means the macro framework will be same. Okay, in macro framework, suppose someone may belong to Shudra Varna only, but what is changing? Their caste position in the local Varna is changing. In the local, not Varna, local hierarchy is changing. In local place, you are getting more good position, but not at the overall macro Varna. Did you understand? See, after when people go for Sanskritization or Brahminization, that is when lower caste get the status as that of the upper caste person, higher caste person, what happens? So it is not just changing the culture, dressing style, etc. It will also change their language, the way they speak, some of the words they use. It also changes the literature. So previously, they will have a revolutionary kind of literature, but now they will be going for a conformity type of literature, because they would have already got a higher status. It will change in their ideology, art, music, etc. So basically, it will change not just the culture and ritual aspect, not just the status aspect, it will also change the other aspects of the society also. Did you understand this, all of you? And then what I'm saying is that, see, though it is a 10-marker question, I'm giving you a broader understanding of this question. So how much of a space is there? Based on that, you can further go for explanation, or you can cut down with explanation. But then what you have to do is you just have to write the crux or the summary of the question. Okay, if the space is left, you can also write some criticism. Here I have given 4 or 5 criticism. I'm pretty sure you won't be having that much of space to write these many criticism, but if you can write, it will be good enough. Okay, because yes, he has studied the religion and society among the Coorgs of South India. He has given the concept of Brahminization, and then he made an abstract concept of Sanskritization, telling that this is how society will be, this is how the changes of society will be, etc. But then it has also been criticized by some people. You can give some example. First and foremost is D.M. Majumdar. Okay, when he says that Brahminization eventually gave to Sanskritization, and he says all the lower caste people will be going for Sanskritization, or they'll be going for either Brahminization. But then D.M. Majumdar has pointed out, no, that is not true, because in most of the places, people are also going for desanskritization. For example, Haryana Brahmins or Kashmiri Brahmins, Kashmiri Pandits, or Haryana Brahmins. So these are examples where they are actually going for desanskritization. That is, they are actually imitating the other lower caste Varna people. Okay, so that is in Haryana. Let's take example of Haryana. In Haryana, the Haryana Brahmins are actually imitating Jats. So Jats technically belong to Shudra Varna in the Varna macro structure. They actually belong to Shudra Varna, and Majumdar says that they are actually Brahmins who belong to the top Varna are actually imitating the bottom Varna, that is Jats, who belong to Shudra Varna. Did you understand this? Next is, see, Srinivas is justifying purification and purity and pollution. That is, he is telling that the lower Varna are imitating upper Varna, the lower caste are imitating upper caste. Why? Because they feel that their lifestyle is polluted lifestyle. And if they continue having polluted lifestyle, they won't be having a good status in the society. So in order to have good status in society, they are giving up on their lifestyle. So this means what? It is nothing but justifying that they are polluted, and also it also justifies that Brahmins have a purified lifestyle. Okay. Next is seepage of social events of dominant caste to the lower caste. seepage of social evils. What are the social evils? Social evils like dowry, sati system, all these mostly are the practices of the upper varna society. But then now, because of Sanskritization, it has also seeped down to the lower varna also. The next criticism is it is not uniform throughout India. That is, Sanskritization or even desanskritization, it is not, the whole concept of Sanskritization itself is not uniform. What he says is that in many parts of Indian society, not everyone, okay, even the lower, let's just say lower caste only, not all lower caste are going to, going for imitating of the Brahminical culture. Many of them are actually also going for imitation of Islamic culture also. Many also going for imitation of Islamic culture. In fact, if you see the Sikhism of Punjab, it is mostly, it is highly, most of the tenets, most of the lifestyle and culture is actually influenced from Islamic culture. So what this criticism is that Sanskritization is not a uniform concept, because in some parts of India, they have a different concept. That is, the imitation is with respect to different religion or different culture altogether. Then finally, we can end, your answer that, see, no matter, what Srinivas says is that all these things actually are increasing. That is, Sanskritization, Brahmanization is actually increasing with the time. And that is also a endogenous, a mode of social mobility. But then in the recent time, what we can also see, that is post-independence, what we can say is, we have the democratical, policies, we have reservation. And we are also having Dalit consciousness, not just Dalit consciousness, we are also having other backward class consciousness. Okay, the backward class are also, they're asking for their own rights, they're asking for their own identity, etc., etc. So because of all these things, people don't want to imitate others. People want to retain their own, caste identity. People don't feel bad about their caste identity. They no more are feeling their caste identity is impure. They no more feel that their caste identity is polluted and they have to imitate Brahmins. They no more feel that. Okay, so this is how you can actually end your answer. Did you understand? It's a simple question directly taken from Srinivas. It is also a previous year question. Only thing is, you just have to write his conception of Brahminization as well as Sanskritization. Okay. In case if you have any further doubts, please drop your queries in the comment section. I'll see you all tomorrow with one more Srinivas question. Thank you so much.